Laptop computer spins onto the screen, opens, and displays ATP Education Program webinar series, closes, and then spins off the screen.
Hi everyone, welcome to Apps for Autism. I'm going to review some of the popular apps that educators use for students on the autism spectrum. My name is Buti. I've been in the field of disabilities for over 31 years. I was a special education teacher, an autism itinerant, and a special ed administrator. I was the director of autism and intellectual disabilities for the Chicago Public Schools. I'm now the proud owner of AIEPA, which stands for Advocate and Instructional Expert for People with Autism. Let's get started. So first thing I want to tell you about is these search engines for apps. And the reason why I like to use these is because they have professionals in the field that have reviewed them. So here's one, the bridgingapps.org. So they have a custom built-in app search tool. So the great thing is the reviews are conducted by people in the field, professionals in the field, right? So let me show you some of the categories. It's by Easter seals, and then here are the categories here on the left in which you can use to filter out what you're searching for. This is another great one, Georgia Tech Tools for Life. And look at all the areas you can filter out. Okay, so there's a lot of very specific areas that you can look for when you're looking for apps. Also, toolbox.earc.org also has ways to filter out different features, different types, user needs, etc. Age group. And lastly, I have touchautism.com. So Touch Autism has their own apps. However, their app search engine searches other apps too. So not just their own apps. And they have categories and links and videos and reviews by professionals. All right, so let's just go over some apps that I have used and find successful with students, used for students with autism. So we're going to look at some communication apps. Cough Drop is a communication app, which is wonderful. You can use the app offline. You can sync it between multiple devices. They have a really unique thing where therapists and the team members can modify the communication set. But what I love is they can log in their session notes and messages so that everyone using it can see it and read. So it's a robust, dynamic, editable communication system. Here's a screenshot of one of their pages. It's dynamic, so dynamic meaning you push a button, it brings you to another screen. This is another communication app in which I really like. It's customizable. I just did a screenshot of the first page. So for example, you would say the child's name, their age, male or female, and then you can pick one of these. If they're new to communication, they can already put two pictures together, or they can form simple picture sentences. And then here is a screenshot. Lovely visuals, and when you push, so let's say you just push the eye, it actually brings the eye up and it kind of brings it to the forefront, which is a really nice feature. It has a great voice, and the pictures are great. Touch Chat is also another great communication app. It's also dynamic. customizable, and is an iPad app. A lot of students on the autism spectrum have been using this app in a lot of the schools that I support. Families love using this app as well. They find it easy to navigate. Choice Board Creator, it was free, but now there's a little fee. But it's a great app for creating like customizable choice boards. So you can use it for choices for what you want to do, for your break, for your reward, or you can make quiz type of activities too. So you can have a question at the top and they choose the right answer. You can also have different sounds playing for like the reward sound, which is also really nice. It's very easy to use. And Sounding Board app. This is free. It is dynamic. They have existing boards that you can edit. You can record messages. You can use a human voice, up to 20 message locations, so 20 squares, up to, so you can do it less than that. You can use their symbols or input your own symbols or photos. So it's really nice and it's free. Okay, some timer apps. So this one's nice, the visual timer. A lot of times our students with autism need to kind of make that abstract thing of time more concrete. So you can actually see the time disappearing. So all the way down right here, on the bottom, that's what the app looks like when you're buying it in the store, when you're getting it in the store. So, and then the screenshot is in the middle. So that's what it looks like when you're using it. So you can change the color. You can run it in the background. You can change the sounds it makes when it's done. And you can save different timers so that they're easy to just pick up and use when you need them. Wait timer. It's a visual and audio tool to help with kind of like waiting behavior, right? Like, okay, we need to wait 5 minutes before we go somewhere. So the app has a social story, actually, which is really cool about waiting. But then it also has this really cool timer, which is very visual and has colors, and the colors disappear as the time disappears. So again, this visually helps a student with autism take a very abstract concept of time and makes it visual. Let's look at some behavioral support apps. So I love the Autism 5-point scale. So they utilize that concept of the 5-point scale. It is color coded. And let me just show you. So pros and cons. So pro, it's free. Con is this front page right here. This is when you open it up. That's right in the middle of this screen. That is not editable. That is how it will look at all times. However, all the other pages you can edit. So the icon, when you're looking for it in the App Store, looks like that with the exclamation point right below in the lower right-hand corner. The middle of the screen. So that's what the app looks like when you open it up. So think about all the great ways you can use this. For example, if I press 5, it'll pull up a picture just like that. But I can change the picture. It does not have to be that silly little face. I can change the word on it, and I can change and I can record something. So you can use it maybe if the child is at a 5, at a red. You can change the picture to be maybe someone like, maybe even the specific child making this voice or face, excuse me, of having some anxiety. Then the word might say like help or anxious or angry. And then the recording might be a cue to the student what they need to do when they're at a 5. It might say, take 5 deep breaths when you are angry. So you can do that for all of them. ChoiceWorks is an app that is awesome. Let me show you. I think the next one is where yeah. So everything's editable. You can do schedules, you can do waiting timers, and then you can do kind of like what happens when. So when I'm angry or upset, I could do this or this. So it's like a choice, but you can edit all these. And then you know what I love about the schedule? So you drag it over when you're done and it'll say all done. But again, it's all editable and they're very vivid colors. It's very, very nice app. Okay, so this app is web-based. You can do Android or iPad. It's customizable. It does the I am working for. So the next slide is going to show you a screenshot. Now this screenshot, this app, you can use a background screensaver. I think it's too distracting, but this is one of the screen backdrops they have. However, you can use a plain screen as well. So you can pick the various different stars. You can have a star, you can have a check mark, you can have a smiley face, and then the I am working for, you choose what it is they're working for. And you literally, when you click on the little square, the icon, like in this case, star shows up. And when they fill up the bar, you get some audio, and then you get a picture of what you're working for. So let's look at a few of these kind of apps too. So emotions, it's free. The icon at the bottom is what the app looks like in the store. So it's really about labeling emotional states. So when I talk about like zones of regulation or different social emotional programs where you're teaching a child to regulate their emotions, I always say the first thing is you teach them how to identify emotional states. Then you teach them how to identify their own emotional states. So I like to use this app for step one, right? So this is really just almost like a little slideshow where there'll be 4 pictures of like real people. And then it'll ask you like happy. And you can include the word happy if you would like as well. And then you have to click the right one. If you click the wrong one, it'll make a little sound. If you click the right one, it goes ding or correct or sweet. So you get some of that verbal reinforcement. So social stories, this is an app where there are some pre-made ones, and then you can create your own. You can also make some visual schedules with this. They're really quick to add audio, pictures, and text. So, and I should say, we know social stories is a strategy used for kids with autism, and it is really providing them the information they need to learn the social behaviors that are expected in a particular situation, and maybe learning the feelings that other people will have during a situation as well. So these are great. And then the bonus thing I want to share is this. Appadvice.com has an app called Apps Gone Free. But what I had to share with this, these are not particularly for autism per se, but daily you get a list of apps that are typically not free, but on that day, they're free. And I've gotten some great apps that I use with kids with autism. So you'll get a notification every day that you just click on, and it'll show you all the ones that are free for the day. And it gives you a little review on them, and it tells you how much it was originally, because you always want a good deal. So that's the bonus. All right. So my final thoughts are, I would encourage everyone to always use a search engine that has professionals in the field that are reviewing the apps and providing input. Also know that whenever you do free apps, although they're great because they're free, and there's some really robust ones, sometimes they have a hard time keeping up with the system updates. So unfortunately, at times you might have a free app you used and you just loved, and then all of a sudden it doesn't work anymore because the iPad system updated, and that app was unable to keep up with the updates because they're free, and then they no longer work. So that's a bummer. So keep that in mind. And I always encourage people to utilize apps that can be customizable so you can individualize them for the specific student, because that's really important. We know our children with autism are all so uniquely different. And when they say you've met one person with autism, you've only met one person with autism because of that. So make sure your apps can be customizable so that you can really customize them to the specific needs of your child with autism that you are working with. All right. Well, that's it. Thanks so much for coming. I'm Mo Buti. You can reach me at mobuti@hotmail.com or check out my website down below, aiepautism.com. Thanks again. See you later.
Thank you for watching. For more information on the ATP education program, please visit our website at atp.nebraska.gov/education or email us at atp.education@nebraska.gov.